This is Bilbao. This is the Meeting Point. And this is Round the Table. Broadcasting not only to Bilbao, but throughout the world. And in a packed programme today, we have pronunciation problems. We have a quote of the week. We have an amazing fact all about a country where they have a lot of words for snow. And ask me what the main topic is.
Yeah, so what's the topic then, Richard?
The topic of the day is truth and lies.
So, let me ask you a question then, Richard.
Yes.
So, do you think, well, I don't know if it's a question, but is being a good liar is necessary in some jobs these days? What do you think?
Well, we've been talking about this week in the Meeting Point, and we all agree that anybody that's involved in sales, any type of sales, generally involves some kind of lying. So, people who sell over the telephone, they phone up, don't they? Like last week we were talking about people who try to get you to change your phone contracts and things like that.
Yeah.
Do you think they lie?
I wouldn't like to say that, but sometimes I've had problems in the past.
Yeah.
Before. So, yeah.
But they're maybe they're not lying, but it could be that they are not telling the complete truth. They're giving you some information.
Yeah.
Because there's always advantages to changing to another company, but then there are disadvantages because everything balances out to be kind of similar, doesn't it? So, so I think they don't necessarily tell the whole truth. Estate agents, of course.
Oh, we had experience with that as well.
Yeah. They have their own special language. But again, I don't know. Yeah, sometimes they do lie. But generally, when you see advertisements for property, they describe it in a certain way that makes it sound much better than it is.
Yeah.
Oh, so shall we play a little game of estate agent English? I don't have a jingle for this game, but if they say, for example, they describe it as being in a lively neighbourhood, for example.
It's noisy, yeah.
Noisy, yeah. They don't say it's in a noisy neighbourhood. They say lively or colourful. Colourful.
Yeah, multicultural maybe.
Multicultural, yeah. That's another one that it could be positive or negative, yeah. And another famous one is would suit the DIY enthusiast. DIY, for people that don't know, is do it yourself. DIY stores are like Leroy Merlin, where you buy things to modernise your house, to renovate your house. So would suit a DIY enthusiast means this house is a complete ruin.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And what about convenient for transport connections? It means you've got a train going past your window every 5 minutes. Or you're on the flight path to a major airport.
Yeah, I think they have their own vocabulary, yeah.
Yeah. And what about politicians? That's another one that everybody says. Well, politicians are
they're
liars.
the champions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they do lie.
They do, yeah. Well, they certainly know how to manipulate statistics, let's say. Mm-hmm. Because with statistics, you can read statistics in many different ways and make it sound positive or negative. Yes.
Yeah, but if you say you are going to do something and then you do the opposite, I call that lying. It's not that they don't do it. They do the opposite.
Well, yeah, but sometimes they promise something and then they just don't fulfill the promise. So maybe that's not a complete lie. It's very difficult to say when things are lies and when they're not.
When they're not truth.
yeah. But for example, if I tell you something that's not true, if I know that it's not true, then I'm lying. But if I don't know, if somebody else told me and I believe it and then I tell you, I'm not lying because I believe it's true. Yeah.
Okay, I can see.
Right.
Yeah.
But then if I make a promise and then I don't do it, if my intention was to do it, it's not a lie.
Yeah, but I think we're talking about politicians. They have the information to know if they'll be able to do it or not.
Yeah,
and in most cases, they know they can't do it.
Yeah, but maybe I'm being maybe I have too much faith in politics, but maybe it's not really justified.
Well, I lost all my faith in politicians.
But
Sorry.
it could be that somebody could be elected on a promise that they really think they can do, and then the reality, when they get into power, they realise in the reality that it's not possible. So maybe they're not always lying. Anyway, what about exaggeration? Is exaggeration a type of lying?
Kind of. I guess it depends on the why you exaggerate something.
Yeah.
Like, for example, talking about estate agents again, they might exaggerate a little bit, and describe the flat like in a better way.
Well, if it's a subjective thing, if you think the flat is really nice and you really exaggerate how wonderful the flat is, then that's your opinion, isn't it? You can't really say whether they're lying or not. If they say this flat is 100 square feet and it's only 50, then that's a lie. That's just there's no argument about that. But sometimes they could exaggerate things, But in general conversation, sometimes people exaggerate.
Yeah.
And like if someone's telling you a story, like if you listen to my brother telling stories about fishing, you know they're really exaggerated.
Yeah, but then that's not really lying. It's to make it more interesting for the audience. Yeah,
it keeps everyone happy and everyone laughs at the story.
Yeah, I think that's not bad.
No, it's a question of intent, isn't it? And half truths, and I've got a couple of expressions here that came up talking about politicians. One of them, a few years ago in the Parliament in Britain, said he was not lying, he was being economical with the truth. Economical with the truth is a sort of euphemism for saying you're lying. And another one that I thought this was Jacob Rees-Mogg, but apparently I've just been checking on the internet and he stole it from Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill said he was guilty of a terminological inexactitude.
That's called
That's just lying, But sometimes people use very big words that most people don't understand. So
just confuse them a little bit more.
Yeah, they're just trying to obfuscate. That's to confuse. That's a big word for confusing. Anyway, let's move on to white lies. So what is a white lie? This is my question for you. What do you think a white lie is?
Well, it's something you say in order not to hurt someone, for example, Yeah.
In what situation?
For example, if someone is been to the hairdressers and say, "Do you like it?" and you don't really like it, but you say, "Yeah, you look fine," for example.
Yeah. And if people buy clothes is another example.
Yeah.
What about when you see someone's new baby?
Oh, yeah. You have to say something really nice.
Yeah. I did see a baby the other day and it was actually quite nice. Yeah, it's unusual, really. I wasn't lying in that case.
Yeah, you always have to compliment the parents and the child. And, well, I don't know.
So white lies are, again, it's to do with what you want the outcome to be, what your goal is in telling the lie. I think if you tell a lie for your benefit, so you gain something, money or prestige or something like that.
That's a lie.
That's a lie, yeah. And a white lie is for the other person's benefit. If you say, oh, you look wonderful.
Yeah.
And even when you meet someone you haven't seen for a long time, you say, oh, you look well.
Yeah.
You haven't changed a bit. And you're secretly thinking, what happened to his hair?
Yeah. But I guess white lies are necessary sometimes.
Yeah. I think they're a kind of a social lubrication.
Yeah.
They help the world go round better.
Yeah.
And it's just a useful thing in society to make people happier.
Yeah.
If everybody told the truth all the time, I don't know what the world would be like. It'd be very strange.
Well, now is this thing like people like to be very honest, yeah? So they give their opinion, and when they don't like something about you, they tell you, yeah?
Yeah.
And they say, oh, I'm very honest. And it's like, yeah, but you don't have to tell me that, really. I never asked. So, and I don't know.
Maybe they're lying when they say they're honest.
Well, I don't know if they lie or not, but...
You'd never know. If someone says, I'm really honest, but maybe they're liars.
Yeah.
Anyway, what about lying to children?
Oh, that's another one.
Now, do you think it's a good idea to tell children about Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy? Or in Spain, you don't have Santa Claus, you have the Three Kings.
Yeah.
And you don't have a Tooth Fairy. You have...
El ratoncito Pérez.
A small mouse called Perez.
Pérez.
What a ridiculous story. Everybody knows it's a fairy. It's the Tooth Fairy, not a small mouse. This is the kind of thing that wars start over, you know.
Yeah, well, aren't they white lies?
Well, they are kind of, they're white lies, yeah. But why do parents feel the need to do this? Because you don't really do it about other things, do you?
Well, sometimes you do it about death. When someone died and you tell them something so they don't, I don't know.
They've gone to a better place.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Yeah. I guess that's a kind of white lie. But that's kind of how religions come about, isn't it? For people wanting... Because in all cultures they have afterlife, don't they?
Yeah.
I think maybe that's that kind of thing that people... It's nice to believe in these things sometimes. And
yeah.
we don't always have to apply logic to how realistic it is. It's just a good thing to believe for most people.
Yeah.
But back to lying to children anyway. Because I was talking to someone recently and he was telling me about... how his daughter believes in the kings and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And whenever you talk to parents, they talk about, the look on their faces because they believe, and it's so nice that they don't know, they believe these things. But I think I see the look on the faces of the parents and how they really enjoy telling lies to children. And the parents seem to be really happy that their children believe anything they say, because you do. If you're a child and a parent says something, like you're programmed to believe what parents say.
Yeah.
And you should be careful as well. If you are a parent, don't make silly jokes like my father used to do. And I'm sure there are lots of things I believed for a long time when I was a child, and it was a casual remark that my father made as a joke, and he didn't realise that I would still believe it many years later.
Maybe that's why you don't like parents lying to children. Then.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe I have a damaged childhood.
Yeah.
Yes. So, lying to children, I'm not convinced that it's a good idea. All right, moving on. We've got a little bit of vocabulary here. I've got 3 words here. Swindle, con, and scam. So, swindle, con, scam. They're all basically the same thing.
Mm-hmm. But what are they?
Well, it's when somebody cheats somebody, like if you sell something that doesn't exist, or you sell something that you do not own.
Yeah, very common these days.
Yeah. The famous ones in the past are when people have sold the Eiffel Tower for the scrap metal value. And I believe the Eiffel Tower has been sold several times.
Oh.
And back in the 70s, people would buy holiday homes or apartments, like usually in the south of Spain. For British people, it was always in the south of Spain in the 1970s. But the people would sell things that they just didn't exist. They'd get these plans and convince people to buy shares in a property. Or they'd sell the same thing lots of times to different people.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you want your money back, you can't find the con man. So swindle, the man is called a swindler.
Uh-huh.
They're not always men, but usually. A con man is the person that does a con, and a scammer is someone that does a scam. And really they're in order of when they were used. You don't hear swindles much these days. Today, usually you hear about scams. They're the kind of email scams where you receive an email from this prince in Nigeria who wants to put loads of money in a European bank account.
Yeah.
And
It's more an internet thing, a scam, yeah?
Yeah, these days, yeah. So they're all basically the same thing.
Yeah. What about...
And usually they offer a chance for you to make lots of money, and that's the bait that they hang in front of you, because people are always tempted if they think there's easy money. That's the easiest type of scam. You say you can make loads of money and people will believe anything.
Yeah.
I remember one, again it was back in the 70s, somebody was going around with a story. He was an antiques dealer and he'd bought a very old desk. And in the drawer of the desk, he'd found a secret compartment. And in the back of in the secret compartment, he'd found a very old map that was hundreds of years old. And it was a map of a Caribbean island. And it was a treasure map. It was an old pirate's treasure map. And he was going around asking people for money, and they were investing money in this project to go to the Caribbean to dig up all this gold and diamonds and rubies and things.
Yeah.
And people gave him thousands of pounds.
That's how he made his treasure.
Yeah, because he said that he was going to find this treasure, and when he brings it back, he was going to give all this wealth to all these people. So all these people just got greedy. They got greedy and they thought they were going to make loads of money. And of course, he took everyone's money and just disappeared.
Yeah.
Nobody ever saw him again. But then, if you're that stupid to believe such a story as that, you don't deserve to have money, do you?
Yeah. Okay, what about hoax?
Hoax. Now, hoax is a bit different because why do you do a hoax? You don't really gain money from hoaxes. A hoax is the kind of thing where, somebody gets a photo of the Loch Ness Monster in Scotland, for example, but they've set it up. So they've, put some newspapers in an old sock and thrown it in the water. And they've taken a very blurred photograph of it and said, look, I saw the monster. Or they get a plate and throw it in the air and take a photo and say it was a UFO.
Well, maybe they can get money if they sell the photo to the newspaper. Something like that.
They could make money, But that's that kind of thing, a hoax. When you're trying to... it's more at taking advantage of other people's gullibility, really, that they believe you. And you get a lot on April the 1st. We have this April Fool's Day.
Yeah. Here is the 28th of December.
Yeah, the Innocents' Day. Ours is called April Fools, and you usually get these stories in the newspaper, which are kind of ridiculous. Oh, one of the famous hoaxes was back in it must have been in the 1960s, I guess, and it was on a BBC program, which was a very, very serious program, usually, and they had this thing about the spaghetti trees in the Alps. I think they're in Switzerland or somewhere, and it was something to do with the weather, and the harvest for spaghetti was going to be really bad. And they showed these people going around with baskets, and they're picking spaghetti from the trees. It's obviously somebody's just thrown lots of spaghetti up in the trees. You can Google that. That's on YouTube. If you Google that one, you can find the BBC spaghetti hoax or something like that. You can call it.
Very good, very good.
Anyway, now we have a few things. We have some pronunciation problems. Here are a couple of pronunciation problems that came up this week. The first one is the word lawyer, someone who works in law, and liar, somebody who lies.
What? Lawyer and liar? I thought they were the same.
No, they're different. They are very, very similar in pronunciation and in what they do, really. Lawyers are often liars. So lawyer, liar, lawyer, liar. The next one is true and truth.
Oh, that's confusing, that one.
Yeah, it's because truth is the noun. True is an adjective. So you can say it is a true story or it is the truth.
Yeah.
I am telling the truth. That's the expression, telling the truth. Not say the truth, it's tell the truth.
Normally, when you say I'm telling the truth, it's not.
Yeah, but when I say it, yeah I know. Yeah, but people say the truth, and it should be tell the truth, which is unusual because tell normally comes with the person you're speaking to. Like tell me the truth or tell him the truth. So maybe that's why people make that mistake. But you have to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Another one which is not really related to truth and lies, but it appeared this week and it comes up quite a lot in the class. College and colleague.
Oh, yeah.
College is where you study. Not the same as colegio.
Oh, yeah, it's more like a university, yeah?
Yeah, it's between school and university. You go there when you're like 16, 18 years old.
Okay, so it's not a school, it's not a university.
No, it's further education, they call it, further education. So it's optional.
Okay.
When you're in your late teens.
Okay.
And then colleague. Colleague is like workmate. Last week we were looking at workmate.
Yeah.
So colleague is like a more formal word. Workmate because it's a good old Anglo-Saxon compound of work and mate. So workmate is more normal. Colleague, looking at it, looks very French, doesn't it, with that end?
Yeah.
So
I guess lawyers use colleague a lot.
Yeah, lawyers probably have colleagues. Yeah. So, shall we have...
Yeah, do you have a quote of the week this week?
Well, we've got a few quotes. We've got a quote of the week, but we've got two runners-up.
Oh.
The runners-up are the ones that did not win, but they were in the competition. So runners-up, that's a good phrase, isn't it? Runners-up. That's like the sub-champion.
Sub-champion.
So, when truth is replaced by silence, the silence is a lie.
Oh.
So that's related to the being economical with the truth that we mentioned earlier. Yeah. That's from Yevgeny Yevtushenko. I don't know who he is.
I don't know.
I imagine he's Ukrainian. Another one, this is an old Yiddish proverb, it says. Yiddish is an old word that kind of means Jewish. I don't know if there's a difference between Yiddish and Jewish.
I don't know.
But the language that they use isn't usually called Yiddish. Anyway, an old Yiddish proverb. A half-truth is a whole lie.
Oh. Oh, that's another one related to half-truths then.
Yeah. And the winner of quote of the week this week is an old Russian proverb. So the Russians have some good proverbs. Better to be slapped with the truth than kissed with a lie.
Oh, very good,
So-
very good.
Slap is when you hit someone with your open hand.
Yeah.
It has to be your hand open is a slap. Better to be slapped with the truth than kissed with a lie. So sometimes the reality of truth is difficult to take, but it's better than someone just to be nice to you and keep lying,
Yeah.
because in the long term it's probably more damaging, maybe.
Yeah. But I don't know if people rather have the lies. Huh?
Well, some people would, yes, or some people are obviously not Russians, and they prefer to be kissed with a lie. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Well,
yeah.
well, you can reverse it then if you want. Your version would be better to be kissed with a lie than slapped with the truth.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. I'll remember that in the future. And
Wait, I'm not
say,
talking about me.
I must say, you look lovely today. Anyway, are we ready for the amazing fact?
Yes, please. What is it then?
We have an amazing fact about a place where they have a lot of words for snow. Now, have you heard this thing about Eskimos?
Yeah.
And they have, how many words for snow do they have?
17? Or
Oh, really?
Or 7?
The real answer is closer to 7.
Yeah.
A disappointing number of words for Eskimos. Apparently, this thing of Eskimos having 40 words for snow, or white, sometimes it's white, sometimes it's snow, is actually an invention. And if you study Inuit languages, they have a rather disappointing number of words, apparently. But my interesting, amazing fact for this week is something I found on the internet, that in Scotland,
Yeah.
they have 421.
What?
Not 400, not 420, but 421, very precise, words for snow,
Really?
which seems rather excessive.
Yeah.
Rather excessive, to say the least.
Can you give us the list?
No, I can't give you the list, but I presume they're all very colloquial words, and I guess in different valleys. There must be lots of quite remote regions where they have very localized vocabulary for things.
Yeah.
Because when you go to very mountainous places, like in the Basque Country here, there's lots of variations from one place to another.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be because there's always mountains in between. So people are more isolated and they develop their own words for things. So maybe that's what it is.
Wow.
But I was looking for, I was trying to think of some words that we have in English. Flurry, a flurry of snow. That's a very light snow and a very quick amount of snow.
Uh-huh.
And it's moving around on the wind when it goes into corners. And
is it very fine?
it doesn't have to be, no,
Oh.
but it's not heavy. But it goes around in circles. You know when you get little wind currents in the corners of walls and up against buildings.
Yeah.
A flurry of snow is quite light. You can also have a dusting of snow. If it's very fine, then it makes a
Okay.
very thin layer.
Okay.
There's sleet. Sleet, do you know what sleet is?
No.
Sleet is sort of, it's really between snow and rain.
Oh, yeah.
If you're driving in it, you see the little ice crystals on the window.
Yeah.
So that's sleet. And blizzard is a lovely word. I love the word blizzard. That sounds really nice. Blizzard. That is that one came into English from North America. That's an Algonquian word. Algonquin. That's the languages of the northern part of United States. What is now United States? The indigenous languages there.
Yeah.
That part of up into Canada. They're called Algonquian languages.
Oh.
Anyway, their word was blizzard, and that's like snow with a lot of wind, like a snowstorm.
Okay,
We call it
yeah.
snowstorm normally. We use just a compound. But blizzard was one of the words we got from that part of the world. And slush is rather a nice word. Slush.
Yeah.
Slush is, imagine it's been snowing a lot, But after, the first day, it's all beautiful and white.
Oh, yeah.
The first day of snow is lovely, isn't it? When it's really white.
That's what's in the postcards, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. Especially at Christmas. Christmas cards have lots of snow, yeah. But slush is, imagine if you're in a city, and after a few days after the snow, and you get that black snow next to the road, and it picks up all the dirt, and it's turning a little bit liquid, and it's really dirty, and it's not.
That's not very nice.
No, it's really horrible.
Yeah.
Snow is always great on the first day, isn't it? And then the second day, not so exciting. Third day, a little bit boring. By the fourth day, you think, I wish it would go away. The novelty wears off, doesn't it? The novelty wears off. Anyway, looks like we're up to 31 minutes. So we're not going to have time for interesting word. We're going to have to save that for another time.
Oh, well.
So anyway, next week we will be discussing relationships. We're going to have a little bit of romance in the air. Well, not all romance. Sometimes it's about friends and family as well. But a little bit about polyamorous relationships. Ooh. And successful relationships, Valentine's Day and that kind of thing.
Maybe we can get some truth and lies stories here.
I found a lot with this trimester. Lots of the topics have overlapped into the next week. So we, even this week, talking truth and lies, we did start talking about lying to partners and things like that. And also the loyalty thing from the previous week.
Yeah.
That loyalty went into truth and lies. And also in loyalty, we were talking about partners and relationships as well.
Well, they're very wide topics, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all kind of connected, yeah. Okay then, so that's all we have time for this week. Another fascinating conversation. Thank you very much, Usa.
Thank you.
It was really, really interesting.
Was it?
It was, yeah. I thought so. And I'm sure the listeners at home enjoyed it. Or listeners in their cars on their way home. We know who you are. Or even some people who listen at work on their headphones, which is quite frankly a terrible thing to do. You should be concentrating on your work. You know who you are. Okay, so that's the end of the show. And we'll see you next week then. Yeah?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye. See you, bye.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I clicked the wrong thing, didn't I?